Every business needs to sustain a long journey. That's why we're in business. And I'll probably say to you that if you're not evolving and you're not innovating, you don't have a sustainable business model. When your input costs are increasing at 7 or 8%, GDP is only growing at 1 or 2%, and your top line revenue is growing at GDP, you have an unsustainable business model. So you need evolution and you need innovation. When it comes to innovation, I talk about a culture of creating great ideas. I talk about the upside down triangle. If you've got the CEO and my Exco team generating ideas, we'll get 1 or 2 cool ideas every single month, every single year. But if you create a culture where your people generate the great ideas, then you could have thousands of great ideas. And that's a luxury for me now. It's a problem. It's a nice problem to have, is to say, how do you pick the great ideas? One of the greatest ideas came from our franchisees, an egg McMuffin, as simple as that. Maybe if we wouldn't have listened to him, we would have listened to somebody else. We would have had 2 fried eggs, some bacon, and a rasher of toast. We got an egg McMuffin franchisee idea, and it's created 11% of our total business. And then evolution. McDonald's started off in 1995 serving cheeseburgers, serving French fries, serving the Big Mac. And you know what? The Big Mac's still 20% of our entire business. But since then, we now are 24/7. We have McCafe, Arabica, bean to cup coffee. And we were voted the 2nd coolest coffee brand in this country 4 or 5 weeks ago, which I'm saying coffee is incredible. I thought hamburgers and French fries, and now we're a coffee business and a main contender in coffee. And then recently, and more recently, we put delivery into the business. 8 months, 9 months into delivery, we've already got 74 delivery hubs, and it's contributing significantly. But as leaders in the business, we need to evolve too. I talk about the power of 10. Every time your organization grows by 10 times, you really need to think hard about your strategy. You really need to think hard about who's delivering your strategy. And you really need to think hard about who your customers are. I always ask myself, who were my customers 10 years ago? Who are my customers today? And who are my customers in 10 years' time? And if I can't think that far and evolve the organization and put talent in the organization that can unlock that opportunity, we won't be a sustainable business. Well, we talk a lot about Africa as South Africans. There's 2 things we don't talk about. Number 1 is South Africa is Africa too, all right? And number 2, when you talk to a global brand like McDonald's, Africa is part of the world. So we sometimes isolate it, and potentially, I don't want to be disrespectful to it, because it's not about if, it's about when that McDonald's goes to Africa. But when we play on a world stage, Africa now needs to compete with China, it needs to compete with India, it needs to compete with Vietnam. 2 years ago, McDonald's opened up its first country for a long time in Vietnam, and our focus is on Vietnam. But I agree with our CEO's, Steve Easterbrook, our global CEO's focus. Let's focus on our countries, all right? Urbanization is another topic that we don't talk about a lot. And we've got some big cities that are growing in this country. We will maximize South Africa first. We will build our infrastructure and our talent structure and our relationships in Africa before we go there. And when we go, it'll be with a bang. People is everything to McDonald's. I used to say that people would be one of your competitive advantages. I'm now saying people and talent is the only competitive advantage they have, or the largest competitive advantage you have. Many people have asked me, are you a hamburger business or are you a real estate business? As you know, McDonald's owns a lot of its real estate for very different reasons. I'm probably now saying we're probably a hamburger business, we're probably a real estate business, but we're really a people's business. We have a hamburger university, although it sounds quite cliche. In Johannesburg, we train 1,500 students out of the McDonald's system every year in formal academic classroom training. The future CEO of McDonald's is down there somewhere, walking the journey just like I walked. And we'll take the business and the mantle from me, all right, and take the business into the next decade.